let's do two more examples of factoring by the magic X method. And then we will elaborate and talk about, well, what happens if we have another coefficient out front this upcoming week in live class in Zoom. But anyways, in this one, again, I would always start by putting I'm going to multiply this times this. 1 times 68 is 68, and that's going to go on top of the magic X. And then the middle term is going to go on the bottom, which we call B, and AC goes on top. And now my goal is I'm going to think about how do I multiply to get 68 while simultaneously adding to get 36. And when the number on the bottom is bigger, that means that those numbers are going to be further apart. So, you know, you like probably a common way of factoring this might be like 4 times what's kind of an awkward number, 4 times 17, I guess. But notice that that does not add up to 36. That's not going to work. But actually 2 times 34 is going to work. That might be a little bit more obvious, but sometimes you might just find it right away. It might be kind of easy to figure out the answer. Sometimes it might take quite a bit of thinking to solve. That just really depends on what numbers you have. And, you know, in your homework for this week, you'll have some practice on doing this in my math lab. But anyways, that's it. That's our answer. X plus 2, X plus 34. Let's do one more. So again, to start off, I would make sure to put A times C on top, 1 times 7, and B on bottom. This is another way you can remember. If you might, it's easy to get mixed up and say, well, which numbers go where? But what you can always remember is that always B is on bottom. That kind of helps. And B is always the middle one. And that just leaves AC on top. I don't know if you can make up some sort of way of remembering, okay, put the air conditioning on the top. Whatever, you know, because, you know, they usually put air conditioning vents like at the top of the room, not at the bottom, just because of physics. But anyways, AC on top, B on bottom. But in this case, sometimes you might be wondering, well, how do I know if there's a solution or not? Because sometimes it's not possible to solve the magic X. It's like a puzzle that's not solvable. Like in this case, well, the top number is 7. There's only one possible way of factoring 7 because it's prime, 1, and 7. And if I'm thinking about that, well, of course, 1 and 7 doesn't add up to 8. So sometimes there just is no solution to the magic X. You can't do it. And in that case, all that means is that there is no way of factoring the given polynomial. In those cases, we don't. That's not bad. It just means it's not possible. And what we refer to that is prime. We call that a prime polynomial. Just like with a number 7, 7 is a prime number. A polynomial such as this one sometimes can't be factored, which, you know, we just call it prime for the same exact reason. And actually, technically, if you ever take college algebra or pre-calculus at Point Loma, technically there is no, all polynomials of degree 2 or higher can always be factored, but it just takes some more difficulty. It takes imaginary numbers or irrational numbers to do so. But usually when we're in algebra, we're talking about using whole numbers or using fractions. Using rational numbers, it's not possible. And that's the term prime is usually not done using the weird numbers in most cases.